Hi there, everyone, and today's first two pages is from Neil Gaiman's Stardust. I have seen the film with Charlie Cox and Claire Danes. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's a wonderful family film. It's heartfelt. It is exciting. It's funny. I mean, there's a fabulous term from Robert De Niro and a very atypical character for him. And it's just a joy, the absolute joy. And I have read some other Neil Gaiman books, as well as the collaboration he did with Terry Pratchett, Good Omens, which is now a series on Amazon Prime and the BBC with David Tennant and Michael Sheen. So I cut out a pause then because it took me ages to remember Michael Sheen's name, and I've seen that as well. It's a great adaptation of what is also a fantastic book. But this is Stardust, and Stardust is a whimsical, magical tale set in a fantastical world with shooting stars and witches, and oh, it's so cool. I love it. I haven't read the book actually, so I think I might do of all, because I keep saying I might read this one. I will, because I do like Neil Gaiman and it's a great story. It really is. It'll be interesting to know how closely the book is to the film, and the film was adapted by Jane Goldman, who is Jonathan Ross's wife, and she's a very, very talented screenwriter. She's done some fantastic stuff. So without further ado, the first two pages of Stardust by Neil Gaiman. There was once a young man who wished to gain his heart's desire, and while that is, as beginnings go, not entirely novel, for every tale about every young man that ever was or will be could start in a similar manner. There was much about this young man and what happened to him that was unusual, even though we never knew the whole of it. The tale started, as many tales have started, in Wall. The town of Wall stands today as it stood for nearly 600 years on a high jut of granite amidst a small forest woodland. The houses of Wall are square and old, built of grey stone with dark slate roofs and high chimneys, taking advantage of every inch of space on the rock. The houses lean into each other, are built upon the next, with here and there a bush or tree growing out of the side of a building. There is one road from Wall, a winding track rising sharply up from the forest, where it is lined with rocks and small stones. Followed far enough south out of the forest, the track becomes a real road, paved with asphalt. Followed further, the road gets larger, is packed with all hours with cars and lorries rushing from city to city. Eventually the road takes you to London, but London is a whole night's drive from Wall. The inhabitants of Wall are a taciturn breed, falling into two distinct types. The native Wall folk, as grey and tall and stocky as a granite outcrop their town was built upon, and the others, who've made Wall their home over the years, and their descendants. Below Wall, on the west of the forest, to the south, is a treacherously placid lake served by the streams that drop from the hills behind Wall to the north. There are fields upon the hills on which sheep graze. To the east is more woodland. Immediately to the east of Wall is a high grey rock wall from which the town takes its name. The wall is old, built of rough, square lumps of hewn granite, and it comes from the woods and goes back to the woods once more. There is only one break in the wall, an opening about 6 feet in width, with a little to the north of the village. Through the gap in the wall can be seen a large green meadow. Beyond the meadow, a stream, and beyond the stream there are trees. From time to time, shapes and figures can be seen amongst the trees in the distance, huge shapes and odd shapes and small glimmering things which flash and glitter and are gone. Although it is perfectly good meadowland, none of the villagers has ever grazed animals on the meadow on the other side of the wall, nor have they used it for growing crops. Instead, for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years, they have posted guards on each side of the opening in the wall and done their best to put it out of their minds. Even today, 2 townsmen stand either side of the opening, night and day, taking 8-hour shifts. They carry heavy wooden cudgels. They flank the opening on the town side. The main function is to prevent the town's children from going through the opening into the meadow and beyond. Occasionally, they are called upon to discourage a solitary rambler who one of their few visitors to the town, or one of their few visitors from the town, from going through the gateway. Children they discourage simply with displays of the cudgel. Where ramblers and visitors are concerned, they are more inventive, only using physical force as a last resort if tales of new planted grass or dangerous bull on the loose are not sufficient. They rarely sometimes come to Wall knowing what they are looking for, and these people they will sometimes allow through, There is a look in the eyes, and once seen cannot be mistaken. There have been no cases of smuggling across the wall in all the 20th century that the townsfolk know of, and they pride themselves in this. The guard is relaxed once every 9 years on May Day when the fair comes to the meadow. So, first 2 pages of Stardust by Neil Gaiman. It's such a fabulous story. So I'm going to have a proper read actually and see how closely the book resembles the film. But yeah, obviously read books. Books are great, but the film is really good. If you just want an evening of good family entertainment, you know, it's a little bit scary in places. And Michelle Pfeiffer's in it as well, and she is awesome in it, and it's so atypical. Mark Strong in there as well as Peter O'Toole right at the beginning. I mean, there are so many recognizable actors that you'll see in it that are doing a fantastic job. Ricky Gervais turns up. So do read the book, Neil Gaiman's Stardust. Neil Gaiman is a fantastic writer. My son has recently read his Norse mythology book and has absolutely adored it. And there's a lovely accompanying film as well for a nice family evening with some crisps and chocolate if you feel like it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you found it interesting, give it a thumbs up. Share it to people if you think they might like it, and subscribe to the channel so you can see more of this type of content. But as always, stay well, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye for now.